I don't want to say good morning. How's my hair? That's really the important takeaway from the day. For those of you watching, hello, good morning. Let me just test the audio here. It should be coming into my ear. This is just experimental. There we go. I can hear it. It looks like you guys heard it for a second there. Let me just go back here. The big news. The Edmonton Oilers lost their first playoff game to the LA Kings last night. That's not really the big news on everyone's minds. Good morning, at Random. Good morning, Deidre. The Supreme Court is about to take away a constitutional right. Once that's been established by the Supreme Court, it doesn't happen very often that the Supreme Court just flips that and says, stare decisis, or already been decided. It doesn't matter. Precedent doesn't, yet we're not going to look at that. And we knew this was coming. There's no surprise here. But it looks like, because of a leaked report from Politico, that abortion is now about to become illegal in many, many states. Prior to this, the Supreme Court had issued rulings back in 1973, Roe v. Wade, and then Planned Parenthood, 93, 92, whenever it was, had said, yeah, women have the constitutional right to decide what happens with their bodies. 14th Amendment, right to privacy. There's a couple of others in there that you can throw in as well. But according to this ruling, and I haven't read the entire 90-page ruling, abortion isn't specifically mentioned in the Constitution. So where is the outrage from the Democrats? Where are the Democrats saying we need a constitutional amendment? Well, it wouldn't work. It couldn't happen. Remember, we still don't have the Equal Rights Amendment. The ERA has failed, even though women are the majority in this country. The Equal Rights Amendment still has not passed in this country, even though Virginia flipped and went Democratic a few years ago. No one's really, just too controversial. Not gonna do it. Sorry, women. Sorry. Here's what I want you to do. If you're a woman out there watching this, I want you to send me some PayPal to support this broadcast, something on the Cash App, something on Venmo, etc. While you still can. And then if you don't have a man yourself, if abortion is not even an issue that will approach you specifically during your lifetime, maybe you're past that age and God has now smite you, or whatever it is, go ahead and start calling yourself Of Kevin. I mean, it's got a very nice ring to it. That's where we are. Okay, hi Marcy. Good to see you. Here's the states where abortion is going to be just immediately pretty much illegal. I grabbed this off. CNN put this handy dandy chart together. Let's pull it over here so you guys can see it. This is what's going to happen. In these states up at the top here, I'll zoom in for those of you on your phone. There we go. These states up here, there are trigger bans. What that means is once the Supreme Court ruling comes down and an attorney general or governor, depending on the state here, determines, yes, Roe v. Wade has been overturned, it's official, these bans will become effective. They've already been passed in these states. Once Roe goes away, these states will no longer have abortions. To different extents, but for the most part, illegal. Now, that being said, these states already don't or have extremely limited abortions rights. And the reason being is, for example, Texas passed that law that beyond 15 weeks, you can't do it, et cetera, et cetera. Many of these states have laws to the effect of you don't, even before you know you're pregnant. You have to find out you're pregnant before having sex, and then you can make the decision. But otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult. There's more here too. Let's go back one. Let's go back one or forward one. Back. There it is. These states up here these have passed bans to limit abortion. Some of the same states you see right here, but there's a couple more. Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee thrown in here. And then the Guttmacher Institute, Guttmacher, learn how to read, Kevin. Learn how to say your name. Guttmacher predicts that these states will very quickly pass laws to make it completely illegal. Montana, Nebraska, Indiana, and Florida will just say, yeah, we're done. I mean, if Florida can pass a law against Mickey Mouse, do you think women are safe? We're on close-up here. I'm going to come back. There we go. Look at this. May 3rd, 202. That's where we are, people. They've taken us back to the post-Stone Age, pre-Enlightenment era. That's where we are as a nation, people. Is that seriously the... Oh, there it is. It did come in. So Political got a hold of an opinion, a majority opinion from Justice Samuel Alito, who during his confirmation hearings back in 2006, I think, under Bush, danced around the subject of abortion, as did Gorsuch, as did Amy Coney Barrett, as did who's the other one? What's his starts with Keg? Brett Kavanaugh. All of them danced around the issue, including Amy Coney Barrett, for years, and everyone knew this, and this is why she was picked for the court. Talking about there's precedent, and then there's super precedent. And Roe doesn't fall under super duper precedent. There's double secret probation precedent, and Roe v. Wade doesn't fall under the double secret probation. So we knew this was coming. Happy 23rd birthday to my daughter today. Thank you, Deidre, and happy birthday to your 23-year-old daughter. Wow, she's close in age to, well, she is the same age as my daughter, who today is playing professional hockey in an NHL rink. Kind of a big deal. Who's got some liquid for me to drink? Here, I'll start playing the Fox and Friends. I'm gonna the fridge is down here in the Stable Boy Studios. Okay, there's Nagheads, North Carolina. Let's get past the music that they're playing. Let's see if it's dead.
To be a man.
Well, welcome back.
Okay, that sounds right. You guys listen. I'm going to turn myself up here because it's extremely quiet in my ears. And it looks like you guys can hear, so let's play a little bit of this, and I'll be right back. Let me know if the audio is not working. I'm experimenting again with some earbuds.
A little powder and a $10 haircut.
Right. So you're against the gender, or you just?
I'm not against the gender. It's just life it doesn't take you as long to get ready.
No, it doesn't.
But once you find something, you stick with it. Marnie my barbershop out in New Jersey has been.
They're talking about Roe v. Wade, right? Once women are granted a constitutional right, you stick with it. We don't overturn constitutional rights that often once they've been established by the Supreme Court. There are rare exceptions. For example, Dred Scott. Guess what? We've decided, even though Dred Scott was already in place, that black people shouldn't be owned like property. Well, abortion isn't specifically in the Constitution, nor is the internet, nor were telephones, and yet there are constitutional protections implied within the Constitution which keep our telephone calls from being listened to on a regular basis without a court order. That's what we should have. It's just like, yeah, you want to stop somebody from getting an abortion, you need a court order on every single one. Good luck. All of it is next. Again, please donate now before your bank accounts go away. That's what happens. Oh, great. Now I've just spilled the one drink I have. Oh, I was all right this morning, and now the day's going bad. I was like, boy, the world's great. Everything is happy. I mean, I'm a man, right? I might have, without Roe v. Wade, I might have 10 or 12 kids. I don't even know. I'm kidding. Nobody would do that with me. Women's. What about women's? Stephanie says women. Women voting will be next. Actually, It's hard to take away that right specifically because they can vote, but then again, they can vote and we just took away their right to choose. So, really the same thing. There's an argument to be made for the other side, but the argument is we're going to leave it up to the states. You know what, women? Like Laura Ingraham said last night, you can move. Do it. Young women out there, move away from the states that are clamping down on your constitutional rights. If Texas has taken away your freedom, you are free to leave. Please do. We need workers in the Democratic states. But people don't. Close to family, you live here, that's where your job is, etc., etc. It'll be interesting to see if companies start reacting to this. If companies start moving out of Texas. Remember, Georgia passed the heartbeat bill a few years ago, and film companies said, we're not going to shoot there. We're going to shoot somewhere else. In fact, I did an episode of The Three Busy Debras on Adult Swim because they moved to Seattle instead of shooting in Georgia. They were slated to shoot in Georgia, which is very film-friendly. They said, no, thank you. We're going to do it in Seattle again. And I ended up doing an episode there. And thank you very much. I appreciated that. Good job, Georgia, for your stupid heartbeat bill. The heartbeat bill now is mild compared to what's about to happen in this country. But it really affects a very small percentage of people at any given time. And people never think it's going to happen to them. I said years ago, and I was wrong. I said years ago that abortion would never decide a major election in this country. It might. Okay, I don't know that I was wrong yet, because it hasn't so far. Let's see what the big news headline is on Fox. It's probably going to be about the leak instead of what this actually portends for constitutional rights in America. Nothing is safe anymore. If the Bible says something, remember, abortion not in the Constitution. Also, abortion not in the Bible.
Cut my hair for 25 years.
Yeah, okay. Karina's back cutting my hair. So, we'll see how that goes.
All right.
I will say this. At least none of us had pedicures yesterday during the day.
I saw that. Eric Adams got his pedicure,
yeah.
And the headlines are...
Okay, this is the couch chat. We're not quite... This is not the headline. This is not the headline. You're thinking like, oh my God, there's haircut talk. That's the big story on Fox. No, not yet. Hold on.
He's getting a pedicure and going to the Met Ball. He's our mayor. While 8 people, I believe, were shot in New York.
Yeah, it's all about priorities. Anyway, our priority on a news channel is to give you the news, and this thing hit like a ton of bricks.
Unbelievable.
A Fox News alert. A stunning news.
Really a ton of anything. I've never understood that expression, because a ton of feathers would do just as much damage.
New report from Politico on an unprecedented U.S. Supreme Court leak that has rocked the nation. Politico obtained...
Again, it's the leak. It's the first thing they mention is the leak.
Apparently a...
Laura Ingraham last night, uninterrupted for 45 minutes of the show. No commercials. And it's interesting. I don't know if that's because it was breaking news or if that's because they didn't want to put any advertisers in the slots where they were talking specifically about abortion. I don't know. Advertisers have come and gone from Laura Ingraham, but the trouble is she keeps getting the ratings. Fox keeps getting ratings. With an average age of their audience of 76, old people keep watching that stuff. And so there's advertising.
Draft majority opinion written by Mr. Alito suggesting the High Court is set to...
You can call him Justice Alito, it's okay. But he is also Mr. Alito.
Strike down Roe v. Wade.
And in this report on the unprecedented leak sparking late-night protest outside of the nation's high court as a result.
Doug Luzader is live in Washington with more. Doug.
Good morning.
Oh, he looks shocked, too.
How often do we talk about leaks from the Supreme Court? I mean, this...
Right, but okay, yeah, okay. But again, nothing in the Supreme Court is classified. This is not national secrets issues. This is open. This is public information. Is it a leak? Yeah, it's a leak. But is it that big of a deal? No, yeah, it never happens. Is it a matter of national security? Is it somehow illegal? No.
This is really stunning. There is the...
It's Samuel Alito, not Thomas. Thank you, Aaron. So he said Thomas. I thought he was trying to go with Clarence Thomas, is what I assumed. But yes, also not his first name.
And then there is the sweeping draft majority opinion as well, obtained by Politico, which is very far-reaching. Protesters have been outside the court through most of the night ever since.
Well, yes, all 50 states plus territories plus TC. Yes, that would be far-reaching. Why? Because it's the Supreme Court. That's how that works.
Since this news broke, we knew a ruling like this was possible. And while this is just a draft and everything, of course...
No, we knew a ruling like this was inevitable.
Of course, can change.
And again, this goes right back to the Democrats not raising holy hell. When Mitch McConnell blocked the Supreme Court pick of Obama. This all goes back to 2016, when Democrats stood idly by with mildly raised fists. The government should have been shut down. Every Republican should have been attacked. And now the Democrats have everything they need to win all of the elections in the midterms, and they won't use it. This should be a blue wave across the country instead of a red wave of women's blood. But the Democrats do not understand messaging. Go at this and go at this hard. Let the Republicans say, oh, the babies and the babies and the babies. Fine. But somewhere between 60 and 80% of American citizens want women to have the right to choose. 1 out of 3 American women will have an abortion within their lifetime. Not anymore.
This goes further than some anticipated. Now,
good point, Marcy. I hope bookstores put Margaret Atwood in the nonfiction section today. She, of course, penned Handmaid's Tale.
In the draft.
At Random says, not like this, though. I think we thought it would be eroded and effectively overturned, not blatantly thrown out whole cloth.
Justice Samuel Alito refers to the 1973 decision Roe v. Wade and writes this: Roe was egregiously wrong from the start.
Even though it was a Republican court at that time, and 5 Republicans were amongst the 7 who established Roe. This is how far right the Republican Party has become. They've gone from 5 Republican justices ruling in establishing Roe. Not ruling. This was up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. No. This is a constitutional right, people. This is ingrained within our very fiber. So we've gone from 5 Republicans saying, yep, this are Republican appointed justices, let's be fair. From that to 5 going completely the opposite.
Reasoning was exceptionally weak.
And by the way, no surprise. We knew this. We knew this was coming. And in 2016, Democrats did nothing. Should Democrats be blamed? Yeah. All the blame? No. 18% of the blame. But this could have been prevented.
And
also, could have been prevented by the Democrats not nominating Hillary Clinton. I know. Oh, it's time for a will. Shut up. The Democrats nominated literally the only person who could lose to Donald Trump. Great job, Democrats. Congratulations picking a woman, and now women are having their rights stripped from them. Great job. There were no other qualified applicants in the entire 333 million people who lived in the United States better qualified, who would have been a better choice, who were more electable than the wife of another president? What are the odds? There you go. Oh, I know. That's going to upset some people. Fine. You know what? I'm right. It's what I said at the time. You people wouldn't listen.
Decision has had damaging consequences. Now many were stunned and angry that
just fine. Pick a woman. Pick a woman. Many women have held government jobs besides Hillary. Many Democratic women have been in positions of some sort of power. And it's not about the popular vote. It's not about the popular vote. We should know that by now. Gore won the popular vote. All right. Gore does not have a library named after him.
That someone, possibly a clerk in the usually tight-lipped court, leaked this draft. Reaction to the...
But in general, this can be more blamed on the Republicans. Republicans like Susan Collins, who has come out and said, well, this was not what we were told. In the hearings and in my office, I was misled. Duh!
Prospective decision has been swift from both sides.
No, we don't know that Bernie would have lost. There was a 12% swing of people that had voted, were thinking Democrat. Bernie is about the working man. And it was those working men who went over to Trump that had no interest in Hillary Clinton. And she lost. I mean, Bernie probably would have won Michigan. Bernie had a great shot at winning Pennsylvania. Bernie beat Hillary in Michigan. Beat her in the primary. Did we all forget that? I'm not a Bernie bro. I like Bernie. I appreciate his style. But yeah, is he a little far left for the country? Maybe. But Hillary was the boogeyman and has been for 30 years. Why do you nominate the boogeyman? Sorry, boogie woman. Anyway, we're getting distracted from the topic at hand here. A leak. Somebody leaked non-classified information.
Odds of the
That's
debate.
The big story.
This is bittersweet. On the one hand,
at random, we don't know. What we do know for a fact is that Hillary lost. Democrats nominated Hillary, one of the most hated people in America, and they lost. Oh, what a surprise. One of the worst public speakers in America, politically speaking, and she lost.
it's sweet because we're finally vindicating the Constitution, and the babies who have been unprotected by the law. The bitter part is the way this was leaked. This was an utter disgrace in terms of how it was released.
It would trigger the laws in over 20 states that have already said that they will outlaw abortion in their states. It will create a patchwork of laws across the country.
And you know who else we're going to hear from is the Vice President. Kamala Harris is set to address the pro-choice group Emily's List tonight. And if this draft stands, by the way, we don't...
Yeah, bye, Deidre. This is a sucky day for America.
I know precisely when this would be released, when the final opinion will be released. States and Congress may, in fact, rush in to craft new laws. There's talk from Democrats of eliminating the Senate filibuster to pass new legislation. And this decision could change.
What about balancing the court? That's what the talk should be. You've still got the Senate. The trouble is you got Joe Manchin. You got Kirsten Sinema. We know now that the filibuster doesn't matter for the Supreme Court. All you need is 50 votes. Maybe you get Susan Collins. Maybe you get Lisa Murkowski. Maybe you get some other folks. Maybe the Democrats finally stop being cowards. Who knows?
The entire complexion of the upcoming midterm elections. Back to you guys.
Absolutely, Doug. Thank you very much, because it inflamed so many protesters. Hundreds went out in front of the...
Yeah. Changes the entire complexion of the upcoming midterms. This is a bullet for the Democrats' gun. It really is. Will they use it? Probably not.
U.S. Supreme Court last night. This draft, which was written and circulated among the justices on February 1st, it suggests that when the justices met after the arguments in the early part of December, at least 5 of the justices voted to overrule Roe and Casey. Those are 2 different cases. Samuel Alito was given the job of writing the majority opinion, and the lineup of Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett.
Casey is the Planned Parenthood case, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not very Casey.
They've voted with Alito in December, and that lineup.
Casey, Planned Parenthood, Casey, right? Yeah, somebody check me on that.
Remains unchanged this week, according to Politico. So 5 on the Supreme Court still want to overturn it. And as Doug just said, what it would do is it would return the right to the states to decide what to do about it.
Yeah, until the opinion signed and released by the court, though, this is still in play. And drafts circulate all the time, and they do change. Votes can change. And some are saying, why did this leaker release this information?
It won't.
It's never happened.
I think we know.
Many are saying it's egregious. But last night, if you watched our coverage, so many of the experts were saying they think that this was released so that it would get the attention of America and Americans would push back, and then these judges would change their mind and possibly Congress.
They won't.
Congress would get involved and pack the court.
So this guy, John Ciego, from the...
Or balance the court, sure. I mean, we've got 13 regions. Why not 13 justices?
He's the legislative director for Texas Right for Life. He says he's worried with this draft that there's obviously a goal to have backlash and large enough response in the news and the real world to get some of the justices to back away from their kind of vote because of the pressure and the protests that took place last night and most likely today.
But the thing is...
by the way, I saw somebody tried to comment in here and YouTube automatically blocked them. So you've got a history there, guy. Or girl, whoever you are, guessing guy. Most of the trigger bans get rid of rape and incest as well. So it's just going to be illegal.
Brian, these constitutional justices, they are reading the Constitution, and they say this right was nowhere mentioned in the Constitution.
That's right.
And that's why Alito said the ruling in 1973 was deeply flawed.
Right. I was just saying that they're just saying the people's reaction to Roe v.
The right to privacy is in the Constitution. Equal protection under the law is in the Constitution.
Way being turned over, and that's what Justice Alito says. This is not constitutional. This should never have been a state issue. And at that time, in 1973, 30 states had banned abortion, but 20 didn't. Here's Ari Fleischer last night on Sean's show.
What really troubles me, not about the ruling itself. If that's the ruling itself, I accept and respect that ruling. But the leaker. Make no mistake.
But you didn't accept and respect Roe, the current situation. Why are you, what the court says?
Sean, this is an insurrection against the...
It's going in and out in my ear. Are you guys getting the same in terms of the audio coming out of the televisions? If it's choppy on you, let me know. I think it's just the headphones.
Supreme Court. I've already seen people on the left celebrating this leaker, calling him brave, trying to throw a Hail Mary.
Or her. Sexist much?
To stop the ruling from being issued. Who at the Supreme Court will trust each other now if they know that their drafts are going to be leaked, just like everything else in Washington? The Supreme Court seemed to be the last institution standing that had internal integrity.
But,
Yeah, I mean, if the trust for the Supreme Court is gone, those justices should stand by their ground and quit.
Just as we have seen activist judges, and remember...
By the way, you know that if the midterms swing the Senate to the Republicans and Biden does get another Supreme Court pick, McConnell will not let it go through.
It was a month or two ago that at the Yale Law School, they invited in somebody from the political left, somebody from the political right for a forum on free speech. The students at the Yale Law School would not allow the free speech of the conservative point of view. And after that, there was like, what kind of lawyers, future lawyers, are we bringing up in our law schools today? Because they're so politically active. It was probably leaked by a liberal.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a lawyer being politically active. That's part of the First Amendment. That was number 1.
Liberal law clerk trying to put pressure on the justices. Ainsley, I completely agree with that. But now, here's the thing. What that person thought is they probably watch a channel that says that Roe v. Wade can never be overturned, and if it would...
Oh, that's what it is. Because they watch a channel. Everyone makes their decisions based on what they watch on TV. That's what it is. Thanks, Steve.
do. It would be.
That's exactly why Thomas Alito makes his decisions, because of the TV that he watches.
Cataclysmic. The FBI
Actually, that's probably completely true for Clarence Thomas.
is in on this now.
It is for
and
Genie.
they're going to figure out who it is because there are very small circles of people who work in that building and very few people
Again, not really talking about the decision. It's about the leak.
had access to it. And right now in the Supreme Court, they probably have a pretty good idea who it was. Senator Josh Hawley said the Chief Justice today needs to convene the justices and the clerks and everybody who works at the Supreme Court
That will
and
happen
says,
this morning, I'm sure.
it needs to say the leaker needs to identify himself. Let's talk about what you just did.
Or everyone's fired. Yes.
Jonathan Turley, he said, you know,
That'd be great. Just vacate the entire court.
he said, this is unbelievable. And he said, they're in a different class, the Supreme Court. He said, I live in Washington where we are what did he say? I'm a boat floating on leaks. That's all we do here in Washington.
City that floats on leaks.
A city
that's
that
right.
floats on leaks. But he says the Supreme Court, he said it was the only island in the sea that didn't have leaks. And so it's really disheartening.
Right,
You know, it was so protected.
Yeah, Mark Levin's going to be on later. Shannon Bream, who was covering this late last night, as was Jonathan Turley last night, Carrie Severino, and Leo Terrell, all esteemed legal minds, will be coming your way.
Those are the best you could get?
Yeah, we're also talking about the election season. It's kicking into high gear today, both Ohio and Indiana, the first in a packed month of primaries, giving huge insight into where the parties stand heading into the midterms.
In less than an hour, the state of Ohio and their Republicans will head to the polls in one of the most contentious and closely watched Senate primaries in the nation today in Ohio.
There's J.R. Mondale right there at the middle.
Oh, it's election day.
All right, so what do the voters think and what are they thinking? Pete Hegseth is live at JC's restaurant in Burton, Ohio.
Oh, good. Yay, restaurant time. They're going to a diner. Mandel. Thanks for correcting me with Mandel, Steph. Mandel. Get his name right. It's a matter of respect.
Act.
Especially coming for a woman. Start watching your back, Stephanie.
Wow.
It sounds like it's loud.
It is, guys. First of all, this place is abuzz with the Supreme Court news you're talking about right now. That's
Good
what
job,
everyone's
Stephanie.
talking about. You guys are talking about it for sure. But, guys, it's election season. It's primary morning. Here we are again, 2022, and
It's always election season.
Ohio is going to be a huge indicator amongst Republicans of which way they got to go. I've been talking to folks already this morning, and I'll tell you, I've heard people saying they're going to support almost every single Republican governor's candidate and Republican Senate candidate. And at each table, the conversation, just from what I've seen so far, is about the President Trump's endorsement of J.D. Vance and whether or not that.
Go to the diner where the guy's wearing the Make America Great hat. Two of them are, I think. That ball cap in the very, very back, that might not be a Make America Great.
Convinces them to vote in that direction, or whether or not they stay with another particular candidate. And then a lot of talk about Governor DeWine here, whether he was too heavy-handed.
That might just be a red hat. I don't know if the beard guy here, I don't know if that's Make America Great or not.
On COVID or not, for the taste of Republicans. Really interesting and fast.
Producer JoJo had a hat. I don't even know what it said, like ski season or something. Who cares? But she had a red hat. And there. But welcome, Producer JoJo. Lazy Jane's out of bed, I guess. She had a red hat that she was playing tennis with, and we had to tell her, like, you can't wear a red hat anymore. You don't want people from any distance outside of 20 feet to think you're a Trump supporter. Because that's what a red hat means now.
Fascinating views from the voters. This is what we do on Fox and Friends on election morning. We talk to the people.
I have a Coca-Cola hat that's a red hat. I have it somewhere. But that would be a great hat for taking to a hockey game so that when somebody scores a hat trick. Producer JoJo has a ton of hats. So we've put together a bunch of hats in a box somewhere, likely in the garage, maybe in the stables. I have no idea. And we're trying to use these hats to go to the hockey games. The hockey game hats, by the way, they get donated. But there's some like really nice hats in the hockey hat too. We just want to wear junk hats. Even I'll clip one to my belt. And then when somebody scores a hat trick, I want to be able to throw the hat onto the ice. The trouble is though, the great thing about a hockey game, when somebody scores a hat trick, which is 3 goals by the same person, the hats have to be tossed. But if you're at the top of the stadium and you toss your hat down and it goes halfway down that section, somebody picks it up and throws it down to the lower section. Somebody gets hit in the head, picks it up. No problem. Not upset at all. Throws it in. Yeah, so that everybody helps get that. It's like a beach ball at a concert.
We talked to the voters, get their appetite and their sentiments. They're fired up, especially on this news. Don't think that it's just Democrats that would be mobilized if Roe v.
Producer JoJo's dad was afraid of all baseball caps because he thought everybody wearing a baseball cap was a Trumper. We took him to a Dodger game one night and he just freaked out.
Wade is overturned. Republicans here saying this is something they've been waiting for since 1972.
He was like in his 90s at the time, so.
As well. So we'll bring the views of the.
We actually never went to a Dodger game, but that's a joke.
Voters to you this morning on Fox and Friends, guys.
Very much, Pete.
JC's
Right.
in Ohio.
And Pete, very much about Donald Trump too, right? The power of Trump.
Yes, big time. Absolutely. That is on the ballot today. If J.D. Vance gets lifted across the finish line after being
J.R. Mandel
behind this entire time by that endorsement, what a indication of the continuing strength of his endorsement.
Don't you mean J.D.
I hope. Oh, hold on.
Mandel?
Hey, Steve. Steve bringing it. Throw that heat, buddy. Let's see what happens here.
There's a late write-in campaign for J.D. Mandel. There is here in Ohio. Might it affect the outcome? We'll see. We'll see if we find any of those voters here,
All
too.
right, Pete, grab him in.
Just laugh about it. Meanwhile, Biden stumbled over a difficult word. It's time to go with the 25th. Coming up on Fox and Friends.
You figure out what you're having for breakfast. We'll check.
We talked to respected lawyer Candace Owens. I don't know. She can't be a lawyer. I want to see more about the diners. That's all I'm interested in. Just the people. Turley talking about the Supreme Court. Is Turley talking about the actual decision, or is he talking about the leak?
To rather rapid disbarment.
Yep. Report. FBI to help investigate Supreme Court leak. Rapid disbarment. They're talking about getting rid of the lawyer. Oh, I saw a diner. He's not talking to anybody. Talk to the people. He's just standing in a diner. Here we go. He's talking to people. Here we go. This is what I want to see. March to the midterms. It's May. Oh, we're coming up on Syllable Day, everybody. My favorite day of the year. If anybody knows what Syllable Day is, let me know.
With Pete Hegseth, who is talking to voters at JC's restaurant in Burton, Ohio. Normally not open, but today they're open for you, Pete.
You're right.
Normally not open.
Normally not open on a Tuesday. I think a little bit more.
Okay, so they open up on Tuesday just for Fox and Friends. Well, I wonder what sort of audience we're going to see.
More business than usual on a Tuesday, which we're glad to JC's for opening up.
Well, more business than usual because they're usually closed. That's right. May 8th is Syllable Day at Random Wins. The only day of the year you can say in one syllable.
For us, and you're right.
Tomorrow is Star Wars Day, so that's something to look forward to, kids. I mean, losing women's rights, Star Wars Day, couldn't happen at a better time. I'm sure the leaker intended Political to publish the report tonight, so it would be cushioned by the fact that May the 4th is Star Wars Day.
Polls are open here in Ohio. You guys don't have to be quiet. It's a rowdy room. They got quiet on me real fast. There we go. We got a lot of opinions in here, and we love it. We got Doug and Kathy, and we're going to start by asking about the Supreme Court, potential Supreme Court decision. Doug, real quick, you're a lawyer. Talk to me about the implications of this, but also the process.
Oh, no. Ruth Ann, your 25-year-old tested positive today, and is coming home because the boyfriend can't allow her to isolate in their bedroom. Can't allow or won't allow? But yikes. Okay, well, I hope she stays healthy.
This in the leak.
Well, it's the Supreme Court is sacrosanct, and even in law school and throughout my career, we were always told that the Supreme Court never had a leak. Doesn't happen.
Also, they had something called stare decisis, which you didn't overturn. That's what's sacrosanct about the Supreme Court.
And now the problem I would see is who can trust each other now on the Supreme Court. And it's just one of those.
Who what? Again, I'm sorry. It's bouncing in and out of my ear. I might have to put on the real headphones. Let's go back and hear this. I guess this guy went to law school, so.
Sacrosanct. And even in law school and throughout my career, we were always told that the Supreme Court never had a leak. Doesn't happen. And now the problem I would see is who can trust each other now on the Supreme Court.
This is exactly what Fox was saying last night. So he watched some Fox last night. And everybody can trust everybody. You know, or somebody is leaking, they'll figure out who it is, and that'll be that.
And it's just one of those things that should never, ever have happened. It's one of those few last bastions of democracy that we have with our system of government. And that's how I looked. I was more shocked by that. It's a historic decision, too. One of the largest probably they've ever had to come down with. And when they came down with it, it should have come out the right way. Because then America's waiting for it, and it should be done the proper way.
Because this way, it's not going to be effective now. It's just not going to take effect.
And I feel sorry. In fact, I feel sorry for the justices, because they've all been put in a terrible position right now, all 9 of them. And what happens from here and through the summer and through the election, I think they've been put into a terrible position, as have the clerks, or who's going to be looked upon as someone who said, were you the leak? Were you the leak? And now there's not going to be anybody who can trust anybody at the Supreme Court. And that's no way to want to work with anybody.
Absolutely. You know, the one place where we felt like...
Well, there'd be a limited number of people who had access to that draft. So if you didn't have access to the draft, probably still trustworthy. It's okay. We'll move on together from this as a country.
There was trust. Now that's breached as well. And guys, I'll be honest, I hear a lot of concern from the group here about the implications. A lot of excitement about the fact that abortion, at least at the federal level, would no longer be legal, but questions about riots and those types of things. Kathy, real quick, we're here to talk about Senate and governor's race. Who do you...
Yeah, you know, the notoriously violent March for Women with their pussy hats, the way they throw the pussy hats at the glass in the windows.
Like in the Senate race, and why?
J.D. Vance. He came
setting everything on fire. That's a candle.
From a very humble beginning. I would vote for Trump again, but when Trump came out, my decision had already been made. And I think we need somebody assertive and aggressive in their values, and to bring and listen to not only Ohioans, but listen to the United States people. We do not need to be lied to. We can make our own decisions. And the children also...
Not anymore, you can't, sweetheart. That's not part of the Constitution anymore. Remember, you're a lady.
Should be ruled by their parents and not by the government.
Well said. Real quick, we got to move down real quick. Just one name. Who do you like for Senate?
Matt Dolan.
Matt Dolan.
Yes.
House divided here. Yes. Thank you both so much. We've got Bill, Chris, Serena, and Greg as well. Chris, let me talk to you real quick. Former Democrat, switched Republican because of Trump.
Trump.
When it comes to this Senate race, then, who do you like?
I'm going with Vance because that's who Trump is going with, Vance.
So you were not with him, but you switched.
This will be interesting. This is the highest profile election that Trump has gotten involved with so far. And his nominee for governor may lose because nobody can remember that. J.D. Vance is a name because he wrote that hillbilly, what they think is eulogy. It's elegy, but when you ask people can never get it right. If you asked her what J.D. Vance wrote, what the movie was, she would say eulogy. It'll be interesting because he was behind in the polls and he used to be a Trump hater. But there's people, Trump, 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 Trump. There it is. There's the mentality. Trump, 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 Trump.
And Trump endorsed.
Well, I was teetering. Yeah. So when Trump endorsed him.
Of Trump.
Trump.
Again, I apologize for stopping, but I don't think the headset thing is working for me. But it keeps blanking in and out on me. But I'm trying to keep up with you guys.
When it comes to this Senate race, then, who do you like?
I'm going with Vance because that's who Trump is going with, Vance.
So you were not with him, but you switched to him when Trump endorsed?
Well, I was teetering. Yeah. So when Trump endorsed him, I absolutely decided to go with Vance.
Interesting. Serena, how about you? Do you have a preference? I'm going ladies first here at this table amongst two great vets. Serena, who do you like in the Senate race? Have you decided?
Yeah, I'm talking to the ladies first. While their opinion still matters, could be overturned at any moment here.
I'm still up in the air with this decision. J.D. Vance, maybe, but I don't know. I just don't know about that. Even though Trump has endorsed him, I'm still a little leery that he might be a rhino.
I think that is a representative sentiment. People still undecided, but the polls are open, so you got to make a decision.
We're going to vote right after this, so yes.
Greg, how about you? Do you have a preference in the Senate race?
Probably Vance. Yeah.
When did that change, or did that change?
No, just looking at all of the candidates and what they stood for and everything, probably helped a little bit with his endorsement from Trump.
For sure. Well, guys, we got to leave it right here. We got another wonderful table that we couldn't get to, but we'll get to in the next hour.
All right, let's see. Let's go forward. And it's going to be the same thing. And talking about the Supreme Court. Leak. And, oh, what was that? Something built America. Oh, we'll jump on from that. I want to see the peoples. Here we go. We're back with the peoples. And are you going to talk to somebody? No talking to anybody there. Just show me the peoples. That's all I care about. Welcome, by the way. This is sort of Spilling Covfefe. This is just our morning thing. There's no agenda here. It just so happened last night was a giant announcement that for the first time in a long time, a constitutional right is going to be stripped away by the Supreme Court of the United States, and that's a woman's right to choose and make medical decisions involving her own body. The Republican-dominated Supreme Court has decided, yeah, women, shut the hell up. Here we go. Here's some people in Ohio. This is America, people.
Talked a lot about the Senate race, but the governor's race is significant as well. Paula, you're voting today. Still undecided on the Senate race, but on the governor's race, who are you supporting and why?
I'm supporting Blystone for governor. He supports a conservative value.
Not Trump's nominee.
He represents our country country values here in Ohio and Northeast Cleveland, and we just need to get back to our conservative values. This crazy woke thing that's coming on, and the leak in the Supreme Court is just not how we believe around here.
Absolutely. Well done, Paula. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Great spending a lot of time with you guys this morning. Judy and Sherry, correct? Correct. Judy, the big Senate race, and I've been talking with this wonderful table of ladies this morning. Who are you supporting and why?
Mandel, veteran, pro-gun.
Yeah, going with J.D. Mandel. There's Josh Mandel is a candidate.
Pro-life. I'm good with that.
And Trump got confused. First he said JR, and then he said J.D. Mandel.
You were with him from the beginning?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And how about you, Sherry? Who do you support?
I am also for Josh Mandel, and he did a great job as our treasurer. And he also is a Marine, and my dad was a Marine, Semper Fi, and he's going to drain the swamp.
There you go. Any concerns about the Trump endorsement? That didn't change your mind at all?
No. I was not a Vance fan from the beginning. I've always been a Mandel fan.
There you go. Very interesting. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. It's really been, we've heard, as I mentioned, from all sides.
Plessy versus Ferguson. Yeah, let's see, Joanna. Let's see. There was a question in here somewhere. Somebody in the chat room was talking about. They said last night, Marcy, please, BS. Ferguson, Brown versus Board of Education overturned Plessy. Reverse. Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas was the opposite of Plessy v. Ferguson, but that was the last time a constitutional right. That wasn't really a right. That was just sort of an overturning of stare decisis, of settled law. This is done. We're done with this. Supreme Court's looked at it. That's the way it's going to be moving forward. And then moving forward, the Supreme Court would get a case involving what have we said about this before? Okay, we're going to respect that decision. Not anymore.
And all candidates, including from this.
And keep in mind, in the last 50 years, Roe has been, it's 48 years, Roe has been challenged several times. And every time it's gone back to, we're not even going to hear this. And of course, the big Planned Parenthood Casey case, Casey Kasem, back in 1993, I think it was 92 or 93. I'm rough on the date, but basically affirming Roe versus Wade.
Great table here.
And also, I think it was a Planned Parenthood case who set sort of the parameters of late-term versus early-term abortion and sort of put a guideline in there. Yes, there's the right, but it's not an absolute right. You can't have an abortion in the 9th month sort of thing.
John, Scott, and Ron. Guys, talk to me about who you're supporting and why in this Senate race in Ohio. A lot of eyeballs on this race.
Mine is pretty simple. Trump's endorsement convinced me that J.D. Vance is the guy for the job. I am whoever Trump supports in any position, that's my candidate, that's my guy. He knows him, and Trump, he's one of those few people that made...
He knows him, doesn't know his name, but that's with whom I'm going. Did I just say with whom? Did I just use correct grammar? What the hell is happening in here?
Promises and followed through with it. Not that I want to live next door to him, but I think he's a good guy. He's one of those politicians that does what he says he's going to do.
Trump for president, not your next door neighbor. You got it. There you go. How about you as well, sir? Who do you support?
I'm a J.D. Vance fan. I was borderline of Mandel, Josh, and Vance, and since Trump is going with Vance, that's who I'm going to go with.
Big impact on you for sure. How about you, sir? Who do you like?
Josh Mandel, Marine, family man, honest. I like the guy.
There we go. As you can see, there's a mix, which is going to bring us to Greg, our last guy. Greg, who are you supporting in this election?
I'm going to support J.D. Mandel.
We found the J.D. Mandel voter that Donald Trump was talking about in Nebraska. It's an interesting mishmash of two of the leading candidates. Real quick, though, who do you think you'll support? You know?
I like J.D. Vance. I like a young guy. I think we need some young people in the government, and I like his attitude with the border. The border, to me, is the most important thing in our country right now.
Living in Ohio.
And keeping our borders.
Where they have a severe shortage of workers, by the way.
Safe, keeping the drugs.
Last thing you need is more people, buddy.
Out, and it's just, that's number one. It's going to affect all of us.
There you have it, guys.
Democrats should be running on abortion and immigration reform. There's your two topics to run on. Will they? No. We welcome Republicans to come in and sit down. Let's get ourselves a gang of 8. Bring me immigration reform. Trump did that. And when they did bring him bipartisan immigration reform, wouldn't sign it. I like him because he does what he says.
I've heard about every name on the Republican side, on the gubernatorial and Senate side. Trump looms large. We'll see. You heard it right there. Trump was the decider for a lot of people. For other people, they said, hey, we respect that, but we're sticking with our candidate. Today, with 25% undecided in the state, it's going to come down to last split-second decisions, guys. Back to you, New York.
A lot of money, yeah, a lot of money in that race.
Right, and it also comes down to
$70 million bucks.
It also comes down to who shows up, because primary races, as everybody knows, not always widely attended.
I know you're talking to a lot of these people that you're talking to are conservatives, but how do you think this will all play out?
I don't even know what this is. Let's take a look. Because there's
We're damaged. We hid in the basement. It's a difficult situation with the food, and there is no humanitarian aid. There is no money. It's very scary there. There is nothing left in Mariupol. No work. Nothing.
And dramatic new video claiming to show Ukraine destroying Russian patrol boats near Snake Island in the Black Sea. In response, this new video appears to show Russia launching missile attacks, which it says targeted a military airfield near the southern city of Odessa. President Biden is scheduled to speak on the latest in Ukraine here later today. And then this weekend, First Lady Jill Biden is scheduled to visit Slovakia and Romania. And on our American Mother's Day, she's expected to visit with refugee mothers. Brian.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Great roundup. So much more to talk about as well. Meanwhile, let's toss down to Ainsley.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. New York City's Mayor Eric Adams taking some heat over his bold fashion statement at last night's Met Gala. The message.
End gun violence. Well, that's controversial. He's the police chief and he wants to end gun violence. How dare he? Is that or that's the whole controversy?
End gun violence emblazed on his tuxedo jacket. And meanwhile, gun violence in his city is skyrocketing with shootings up 10%.
Right, and he wants to end it. How dare How dare he try and end... Oh, good. Here we go. Diners, people. Here we go. It's exciting getting exciting again. Oh, he's eating. Okay.
Voters time, voting time. It's primary time. The polls are open, but open for a couple hours. It's also Steve Ainsley Bryan's steak and eggs, biscuit and gravy with some friends here this morning. It's really good here at JC's.
Your healthy fruit.
And as was pointed out, some healthy fruit, which I may or may not get to. Easy, Dennis, easy. Some great folks. They've got a variety of opinions about the candidates today, why they like them, why they may or may not vote for them. And we saw that polling that said 25%.
You're right. Sorry, Marcy. He's the mayor of New York, not the police chief.
Of Ohio.
I mean, he's in charge of the police force, is what I was trying to say. But yeah, thank you.
Republicans are undecided. That sounds about right, because that's what I'm seeing in this diner right now. People who are walking into the ballot box unsure of who they'll pull the lever for. Donald Trump big on a lot of people's minds this morning. So stick around on Fox and Friends. We're going to bring.
That's it? What about talking to him? What about talking to those good people that you're eating their breakfast? Here we go. He's about to. It's okay. We're moving on, kids. It's all right. Everything is well within the country. We're talking to people in a diner.
A lot, and a hungry crowd, too. Dennis is a house in those biscuits and gravy, and they're good. Dennis, thank you for your service.
Ruth Ann says, Justice Roberts just announced he's Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Just announced he's directed the Marshal of the Court to open an investigation to find the leaker. Okay.
Law enforcement, really appreciate that. Tell me about, you've kind of had a thought process approaching these Republican senators.
Well, can you speak into your microphone when you're holding the microphone and then pass the microphone to the person you want to talk? How about that?
Man, let's talk to us about it.
Well, you know, usually I go into these situations and I'm decided way ahead of time. Now with, Mandel, I like Mandel. You got J.D. Vance that Trump's endorsing. Kind of skeptical a little bit, I'll be honest, because of some of the stuff he said a few years ago. But then at the same time...
Oh, he's got some good-looking biscuits and gravy right there. Oh, those make me so hungry.
Some people change and realize, hey, maybe I made a mistake a few years ago, and that's good. And I think Trump would probably look into that before he would endorse somebody.
No. Doesn't matter what you said before, as long as you praise Trump now. As long as you start talking about how the 2020 election was rigged, Trump will endorse you.
We got Gibbons.
I mean, doesn't matter if 4 or 5 years ago you called him Hitler. Does not care. What do you say today? Oh, he thinks I'm a good guy. I like him. He's a great individual, and I'm a great judge of character.
He's out there. He's a businessman. I like businessmen because you can't run a country if you're losing money all the time. So I like businessmen.
Or not paying your taxes.
So that's an up in the air, and I'm usually not like that.
You're pretty undecided down to the last minute.
Yeah, it's really odd for me. I'm usually have my decision a month ago.
Very telling. Dennis, by the way, thank you for your service as a school board member as well. He's been fighting against the radical curriculum at the school board as well. Appreciate that. Service continues. Kathleen, who do you like in the Senate race and the governor's race?
Well, I'm definitely going to go towards Mandel, Renacci, and I'm still a little bit up in the air with Gibbons. Gibbons or Mandel. Yeah.
So undecided still, and we'll.
But no J.D. Vance.
We'll see which way it goes, but I appreciate spending time with both of you this morning. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Maybe the breakfast will decide. I don't know what it's going to tell you. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good, Pete. How are you?
Good to see you.
I like that guy's shirt, though.
What's your name, sir? And
Jerry
tell
Davis.
me, Jerry Davis, and who are you supporting in the Senate race and the governor?
One has a Trump hat, the other one has a Make America Great hat.
In the Senate race, Jane Timken and the.
Wow. I don't know that J.D. Vance is going to make this happen. The trouble is, though, there's like 100 candidates. So really the only one we're hearing about is J.D. Vance and also J.D. Mandel. But it could be one of those contests. Remember, in 2016, Trump didn't even take 50% in the primaries. There were so many contestants. There were 17 when it was started out in the Republican Party that Trump never got. I think he got like 44, 45% when all was said and done, and yet managed to be the nominee.
Governor's race, Jim Renacci.
And why Jane Timken?
Neither of which are Trump endorsed candidates, and he's got a Trump 2024 hat.
Why? She seems to speak from the heart. She seems to be pure and honest, and she's kind of new and unspoiled and uncorrupted.
I like that they took their hat off at the table, at least.
Probably.
Good reason of any. Sir, how about you? Name and who you're supporting and why.
Dan Demko. Well, first of all, we can't lose. The top four, it doesn't matter which one. I mean, it does matter, but we have a really great team. I'm for Vance. He's overcome some of the negative things that they said about him, about Trump. He's not a
Also that he said about Trump.
rhino. He's all in for Trump. So, but at the end of the day, next couple of years, we're going to have to take Sherrod Brown out. We've got 3 candidates now, Dolan, Timken, and Mandel, who are ready to go on the bench.
So even if one of them doesn't win this year, 2 years down the road, Sherrod Brown.
We got a deep bench. They don't.
Ohio, a deep Republican bench. As you can see, still some uncertainty, but they're focusing in on candidates and the Trump endorsement.
Okay, I've completely lost my audio. Give me a second here, guys. Going to the cans. Let's see if I can hear that now. There we go. How about now?
Everyone's acknowledging.
Nothing like a wire.
It's important, but also looking back at past statements and trying to weigh all of that. Very interesting, and I know that's where the national media attention will be as well. It's been a lot of fun, guys, here at JC's.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. Let's see if there's anything else worth watching here at the end. Turnout in Ohio, severe threat, weather. Don't get in a tornado, everyone. Take care of yourself. And then, what is this? The last segment of the day has something to do with the canoe. Go ahead.
It's confident. There's a fish sitting right.
Oh, it's about fly fishing. All right. Enjoy. Just don't get the fish and throw them back in. Just being an asshole. Okay. Outdoor Kids is an insane world on sale today. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Breaking news. Specifically broken. All right, kids. That's probably it for this morning. I'm going to get my day underway. It's 8:34 Pacific time. Enjoy your day wherever you are. Hawaii got snow last night. That's crazy talk, Marcy. No, it didn't. I'm going to go have maybe a second cup of coffee or something. I just can't. Everyone's saying I can't believe it. I can completely what I thought would happen. What I knew would happen. God, I hate being right. Last night in the Oilers game, my hockey team, we have a goaltender, Mike Smith, who plays the puck way too much, and by playing the puck, I mean he stick handles it and tries to pass it to people. He's fantastic at it, except that sometimes he's not. Last night he was out of the net. He was behind his own net and decided he should pass it right up the middle. The Kings knocked it down and they scored. He was out of the net. Okay, go ahead and handle the puck a little bit, but put it up the boards, keep it away from the front of the net, especially when you're not there. Anyway, that's what happens. Gretzky's not a Trumper. God, don't say that about Gretzky. How dare you? Gretzky's a perfect human being. Marcy, I don't even want to know. I'm just going to assume that you're joking. I do not want any follow-up on that. Shut up, Marcy! All right, we're ending the broadcast.